Organizational Design, Ecotripp, presented by Lachlan Atkins, Rachel Garcia Puente, and Hope Sullivan.
How do the structural levers in organizational design required by Ecotripp change during the stimulation? Reasons for change. Informal structure has led to a system lacking defined responsibilities, which has created inefficiencies, confusions within the organization, and conflict. The decision-making time is 30% below market average, identifying a significant need for improvement. And the communication is considered average at best, creating a need for an improved information flow within the organization. So the preferred change would be shifting from an informal to formal structure. This would help delineate responsibilities, reduce the confusion, and in addition, reduce the conflict within the organization. A centralized structure would also decrease the decision-making time to improve efficiency, as which we saw a 5% above market average change. While setting up the structure, attention needs to be placed on improving communication within the organization.
How are the organizational key performance indicators influenced by structural decisions? Key performance indicators are used to measure performance of an organization. Based on the organizational design, these performance indicators change indication improvements or issues within the organizational design. All organizational structures provide benefits to certain KPI statistics, with each having drawbacks and other KPI stats. An example would be Ecotripp moving from an informal to formal, creating improved communication and decision-making, while collaboration and autonomy decreased.
Which of your results surprised you the most, and why? The simulation produced some surprising results. Initially, with only 50 employees, we made the decision to implement a geographical structure that divided departments across different countries. We thought this decentralized decision-making approach would work well for a travel agency, as it would allow each country to input local information and better accommodate customers based on their travel preferences. However, we realize now that this decision was hasty, considering the small size of the company at the time, and the organization had difficulty adjusting to this change. But as the company grew, we once again implemented a geographical structure. However, this time we discovered that the structure did not align with the roles of each department. We concentrated too much power within top management rather than distributing it among the various geographical locations. So this also led to surprising results that disrupted the balance of the company and negatively impacted customer retention and productivity.
Would you like to work in such a company? What would it take to succeed there? Would working there be easier or harder than it would be to work in a more formal company? Working in a company transitioning from an informal to a formal structure can offer both opportunities and challenges.
Some of the opportunities are clear responsibilities. A formal structure would delineate roles and responsibilities clearly, reducing confusion and inefficiencies. It would also improve decision-making. With a centralized structure, decision-making processes could become more streamlined and efficient, and it could also enhance communication. Formal structures often include better defined communication channels, which can improve information flow and alignment.
As far as challenges, rigidity is up there. Formal structures can sometimes become bureaucratic, which slows down innovation and responsiveness throughout the company. Again, a cultural shift. Transitioning from an informal to a formal structure requires a cultural shift. This can be challenging for employees to become accustomed to more autonomy. Top-down control. In centralized structures, decision-making power may be concentrated at the top, potentially reducing autonomy and empowerment at lower levels.
In conclusion, I would consider working for this company with caution. The transition aligns well with what I would want in a company. However, mitigating the challenges along the way would ultimately determine my long-term employment. What were the significant insights and lessons you derived from this simulation concerning organizational design? The new organizational structure should take into account factors such as employee size and scope of business operations. Our group originally selected a regional departments for the first organizational change without realizing that the organization were exclusively in North America, creating the shift to a traditional formal structure.
When selecting the organizational structure, the allocation of centralized decision-making was important to facilitate this organizational shift, as an inappropriate allocation would deter undermine the new structure being implemented.
And one important lesson I also learned during the simulation was how strategic companies need to be to fit every puzzle piece, and how one wrong move can be detrimental to the structure, people, productivity, stakeholders, processes, and income. What I learned from this is also how difficult it can be to successfully implement kind of like an organic structure. It took a lot of wrong decisions to figure out how to give employees more autonomy and more of the decentralized decision making. It's hard to choose who to give power to and what kind of company you want to be, as those choices will shape your employees.
Overall, this stimulation was a great team bonding experience and definitely puts you in the eye of the beholder when it comes to business decision making. I've never done something like this for a class before, but I definitely would do it again.